Today we're going to take a look at the infamous buffalo sentence, which reads buffalo, 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 which would be the word buffalo 8 times in a row with a period at the very end, which is a grammatically correct sentence in the English language. So let's focus on how we can get there and prove why that is really grammatically correct. So let's take an example sentence, which says, Fiji cannibals that American pastors eat. I'm sorry, oh my gosh. Fiji cannibals that American pastors fear eat American missionaries. All right, well, that's kind of creepy because these cannibals in Fiji are eating American missionaries, and I imagine the American pastors back home are a little bit worried about that. Let's diagram this one as our base sentence. So I have this sentence which says, Fiji cannibals, and then here's an adjective clause that American pastors fear, and then the sentence continues, eat American missionaries. So I'm going to build this guy up front, which is the cannibals. They're the cannibals, and they eat, missionaries. Nom, 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 nom. All right, so here's our missionaries. And we're going to call them Fiji cannibals. And we know now that words like Fiji, which is a noun, is going to be flattened as an adjective. And they are American missionaries, which is also a noun. And then we have this adjective clause. I'll change my color for my adjective clause. We'll put our adjective clause down here. We know that the word that is part of this clause, is how the clause starts, but our verb is fear. So I'm going to put fear here. My subject is pastors. And I'm going to say what kind of pastors are they? They are American pastors. And we know with an adjective clause, this word that as our relative pronoun is renaming cannibals. So really what we're saying is the American pastors fear the cannibals. And so I have this word that sitting right here. And the word that is renaming cannibals. Easy enough. Well, let's adjust the sentence a little bit. Let's change it. We do know that the word that could be cut out of the sentence. It could be looked at as an expletive, and that happens with the word that. And I could just simply say, if I scratch it out, Fiji cannibals, American pastors fear, eat American missionaries. You don't have to have the word that. And so if I do decide to cut it out, and I will, let's cut him out, I could put it in parentheses. I can also, let's change our color here. Let's go green. I can also put an X there if I want to. Sweet. And that's our way of saying Fiji cannibals, American pastors fear, eat American missionaries. Now, instead of saying the American pastors, let's say, instead of pastors, let's change pastors to missionaries. So imagine if you're an American missionary who is potentially being eaten by the Fiji cannibals, that you're probably also afraid of them. So let's just make that adjustment. So let's get rid of pastors. And let's change this to missionaries. So we're left with Fiji cannibals, American missionaries fear, eat American missionaries. That makes sense to me. All right. Well, let's change it again. Let's say that Fiji cannibals actually aren't eating American missionaries. They actually eat other Fiji cannibals. So let's change this to that Fiji cannibals, American missionaries fear. Actually, they fear them because they eat themselves. They eat other Fiji cannibals, which makes sense. A cannibal eating other cannibals. They have a good taste to them. So let's get rid of this. There you go. And let's get rid of these. And let's add in cannibals. And would say they're from Fiji again. So now we have Fiji cannibals that American missionaries fear eat other Fiji cannibals. So I guess if you're an American missionary, you're kind of afraid of the Fiji cannibals, but they're also eating each other. And so I guess maybe you shouldn't fear them, but who knows? They could certainly turn on you. All right. Let's continue then. Well, let's say instead of the Fiji cannibals are actually eating the Fiji cannibals and the American missionaries are afraid of them, I imagine if you're a Fiji cannibal, I'd be afraid of being eaten. And so I'm going to get rid of this word American, and I'm going to get rid of missionaries. And what if I said that Fiji cannibals, that other Fiji cannibals fear, eat Fiji cannibals? Okay, so Fiji cannibals that Fiji cannibals fear, eat Fiji cannibals. So let's do that. Let's get rid of missionaries here. So long, American missionaries. So long, American missionaries. And let's change it again to cannibals. And they're from Fiji. All right, so let's just take a look at the ethics here that a Fiji cannibal is afraid because those Fiji cannibals are also eating other Fiji cannibals. But once again, if you're going to be willing to eat another cannibal, then you should also be willing to be eaten. And therefore, I guess you will live in fear unless you are the first one to eat as opposed to being eaten. This is just going down a bad path. We'll just go with it anyway. But let's change a little bit. That's eating is just gross. And why are they eating each other? Let's just simply change it. So where is my eraser? Let's say, instead of they eat, how about that they, let's say instead of fear, they eat. Let's go with that first. How about that? So the Fiji cannibals that other Fiji cannibals eat Fiji cannibals. You can see where I'm going with this, right? So let's get rid of the word fear. Let's put in the word eat. So now we're saying that Fiji cannibals eat actually turn around and eat other Fiji cannibals. All right, it's a nice little food chain going on here. And now my point is, I think I want to change these verbs. So instead of saying they eat, let's just make it a little gentler. So instead of eating each other, what if they just pick on each other? What if they kind of bully each other? Let's just say bully. Wouldn't that be nicer? So let's get rid of eat, and let's say that they bully. All right, so here's bully and bully. So really what we're saying is Fiji cannibals bully Fiji cannibals. It's really getting into a hot mess up here of just words, isn't it? But you're getting the point. Now they're bullying them. But let's say they're not actually from Fiji. Wouldn't it be scary if some of these cannibals were actually in here in America? Sure. So instead of the town or the country of Fiji, what if they were actually from, I don't know, Lancaster? What if they were from New York? Or what if they were from, I don't know, what about that small, lovely town in upstate New York of the city of Buffalo? So Buffalo cannibals, that other Buffalo cannibals like to bully, end up bullying other cannibals who live in Buffalo. So now we have a sentence which says the Buffalo cannibals bully other Buffalo cannibals. So just imagine there's Buffalo cannibals that are bullying other Buffalo cannibals that are also bullying other Buffalo cannibals. Not very kind at all. But what if we didn't have them as being cannibals? What if they weren't cannibals? What if they were some kind of animal? Because animals can certainly be mean to each other. So what if they were sheep, buffalo? They have probably sheep in Buffalo. They probably have cows in Buffalo. You think of some other animals they might have in Buffalo. They could certainly have cats, real angry, bullying cats. Maybe they have bison. We could do bison, sure. You could say Buffalo bison, but let's just go ahead and say what's all on our minds. Instead of bison, why don't we just simply call them what they are? They are certainly buffalo. So buffalo, that other buffalo, bully. In fact, bully other buffalo. Now, do you see it? That buffalo, the animal from the city of Buffalo, therefore they are buffalo. They like to bully buffalo, or so that other buffaloes actually bully or turning around and bullying other buffaloes that live in the city of Buffalo. Except I have bullafo, which doesn't make any sense at all. So let's get rid of bullafo and let's make that into buffalo. All right. So far, so good. Now, this is so close to the infamous buffalo sentence, but it's not there yet. And you're thinking, well, how can I get there? Well, did you know there's another word for the word bully in the English language to kind of push someone around, to be real mean to them? Sure there is. What could that word possibly be? Let me think. I know. Let's erase the word bully and let's put in another verb, which is to buffalo someone. to push them around, to kind of put your shoulder into them and nudge them and block them around a little bit. And so therefore I said that buffalo, buffalo, that buffalo, 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 buffalo. And when we get rid of that understood that, we end up with 8 words in a row which read buffalo, 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 buffalo. And that is the infamous buffalo sound.